What's up, guys? Welcome back to another fantastic episode where yours truly speaks about the things that absolutely matter to you. Today, I'm going to speak about iShowSpeed. iShowSpeed has done tremendous things, and in a very short time span. Let me just give you guys a couple of stats. So, he has a total YouTube subscriber number of 51.3 million and counting. 51.3 million. And you might think the 3 is insignificant. That's 300,000 people. 300,000 individual people. He has an approximate number of YouTube views equaling 7.34 billion across 1,805 separate videos. That's crazy. If you take that and you divide the number of total views by the number of videos, it's obscene. And last but most importantly to most of you, he is making around $150,000 to $450,000 a month. And let me tell you guys, that is simply just on ad revenue. So whatever he's doing on the back end, and then whatever brands are paying him to sponsor their products, this man is absolutely killing it. And that's the world we live in nowadays. We live in a world where anyone with a camera and internet connection can become the next superstar. We no longer need to go out and find an Elvis Presley or a Frank Sinatra. These people are dinosaurs. Anyone and everyone has an at bat. It's like going to the World Series and lining people up, and everyone has an attempt to hit a home run. Not just the people that have went to college and then went to the pros, and then no, everyone has an opportunity now to strike it big. And so that really opens up the discussion of why. Why is iShowSpeed so popular? And I have a few very unique views about this that I really haven't heard anyone else discuss. I'm going to connect his popularity with something that wires us as humans that we all have, and speak about the psychology, if you will, the evolutionary psychology behind what makes him so popular. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. iShowSpeed is an absolute phenomenon. He is. He's a phenomenon. I don't know what else to say. He has lapped most creators that are even considered to be his peers. How was he able to do that? And if you are attempting to create a YouTube channel of your own, I highly suggest you listen. There's going to be absolute gems in this video from all of the countless hours that I've spent. Even though I'm a new creator, I've spent countless hours, hundreds of hours, attempting to understand this on a scientific level, on a level that can be recreated. And although I don't necessarily care about that, I think it's quite interesting how Speed was unconsciously willing to complete these steps in order to reach YouTube and just media content superiority in general. It's not just YouTube, guys. In fact, YouTube is nothing compared to what he is doing on Twitch. Twitch is primarily how he became super popular. You see, he started in the 8th grade. He started streaming and then he quit. And then throughout COVID, when everyone was locked away inside their homes, they weren't able to leave, they had to wear masks, which that's a whole nother story, which I have a lot to say about that. But we're going to set that aside. We'll set the politics and all the bullshit aside and just speak about iShowSpeed. We're going to speak about the show. I think that iShowSpeed was catapulted primarily because he was streaming in a world where people were feeling lonely and feeling bored. They had nothing else to do. They wanted content. But here's the difference, guys. On YouTube, it's so edited. Most of these videos are edited almost like MTV music videos back in the day where they have 5-second cuts and everything is calculated, and that compared to something as raw as streaming is what completely separates the two ways of creating content. They're two completely different ways of creating content, guys, and one is just on such a higher level than the other because streaming exposes you. I do this in one cut. There's no editing involved. So you have to really, really pay attention to each and every single word that I say. And that is a much more difficult thing to do than if I was to pay someone, I don't know, a couple $100 in order to edit this to make it look, feel, sound, and go amazingly. Even with the editing, I could edit this. I could pay someone to edit this that would make it seamless, flawless. I could make myself going to the grocery store look like an epic of which you've never seen anything to compare it to. It just comes down to the editing. But see, people like iShowSpeed are genuine and they're honest. Even if they're exaggerated, they're being themselves and they're being themselves in real time. And that is like finding a diamond in the rough when you get someone that can hold people's attention, because the majority of people don't know what to say. If you stick a camera in front of their face and say, entertain the world, they wouldn't know what to do. They would freak out. They wouldn't be consistent, let alone even create something worth watching. And iShowSpeed really hit that niche. He really hit that niche of being fascinating and a character that people could rally behind, and something that was creatively prone for success, if you will. I know that's a weird mouthful, but his creativeness is par none. He's great, and he's so interesting. Even his barking, "Arr, arr, 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 arr." It's crazy. He does that, and he associates himself with certain moments in life and with certain noises, even like his barking antics. That's crazy. I think that's totally genuine. That's absolutely him. And do you know what kids nowadays are looking for? They're looking for a friend. They're looking for a community. They're looking for something they can interact with online that makes them feel like they're bigger than themselves. And that is why streaming is so much different than YouTube or any other form of content. Facebook, Twitter, streaming is live. And as a viewer, I want to feel like I can change the course of the content in real time. I feel like I'm actually participating. I feel like I have a vested interest in this character that I'm watching online. And that is totally different than the fabricated shit that you see on YouTube. It's real, it's raw, it's open, it's honest. You see everything about this person, which leads me into my next aspect that I have noticed relating to why iShowSpeed has become such a phenomenon. It's that we feel like we know him. The more content you put out online, the more people will feel that genuine connection between you and them. You get to see everything that occurs in their lives, not just the greatest of clips that you can edit and paste together and put on YouTube as a crazy vlog video or whatever. Doesn't matter what the content is. You are clipping it in order to fulfill a preordained agenda that you had in your mind. With streaming, it's totally different. Anything can happen, and people can actually influence you in real time. You ask the chat, should I do this? Should I do this? Furthermore, you get to see the rawness and the realness of these people's lives, because whether or not you like to believe it or not, whether or not they have you tricked into thinking that there's some great thing, like the fact that Kim Jong-un, when he was born, there was 2 rainbows and he doesn't shit, he doesn't pee or poop. He is a perfect specimen. That's what I don't know if they actually believe that in North Korea, but that is what is written about him. And I feel like some people expect that of celebrities. They don't think they're bored. They don't think they're just chilling watching Netflix. They don't think that they go through struggle and adversity. They just see them as having this perfect life, and that just isn't the case. I don't care who you are. I've had the opportunity to become friends with many different celebrities, although it's weird seeing them that way because once you get to know them on a personal level, it's like, yo, this is just Dave, bro. Like, he's just chill. This is whoever. This is Sam. He's the homie, but you don't see it that way when you are a fan. You stand the fuck out and you imagine them being in some ivory tower eating grapes or something. And with iShowSpeed, especially in his early career, you got to see the adversity he went through. He just loved creating content and he took it so serious. And although that's not my demographic per se, or that's not something that I'm not his demographic even. If you want to take it there, I'm much older and I'm into different content, but I could still respect and admire what he has done, especially since he went through such hardship with even attempting to do what he wanted to do. From my perspective, it seemed like his mom was especially super discouraging. She would always yell at him and tell him to get off and he's wasting his life and do the damn dishes. It was something that could have easily made him quit, and he fought through it and he said, "You know what? I'll show you." He continued to post content religiously every single day. He was streaming 8 hours a day every single day, and he fought through it and he made it out on the other side. That, my friends, is what separates the weak from the warriors. He is an absolute warrior. He doesn't depend on other people telling him how he should live his life. He does what he's interested and passionate in or of, and he excels forward, putting one brick down beside another repetitively over the course of a very long period of time until eventually he has built himself a mansion of success. Most people don't see that, and most people will never get that. They'll put out a YouTube video or they'll stream and they'll be boring as fuck and they'll quit because they want to go from here to here automatically. Which leads me into iShowSpeed's quick rise. Did he have a quick rise on YouTube? Yeah, I think he had the biggest rise in all of YouTube history, going from 3,000 to 5,000 to he stayed right at 5,000 for 3 days and then propelled to 800,000 and then to a million. Now he's at an insane number that's growing each and every single day. Those aren't rookie numbers. Those are numbers that have reached a trajectory that we had never seen before and we might never see again. And that's because he had done all of the work ahead of time. People knew him from his live streams, even when he wasn't doing interesting things. Now I know he's traveling the world, and that's great. He has his own bus. That's fantastic. But at the time, he was doing nothing. He was relatable, and he's still relatable, but he was especially relatable. And he was capturing the attention of every single person in this world that spoke English, that felt alone and wanted to rally behind something that they could latch onto. You know, the average person, especially kid, even when I graduated high school in 2014. I'm 30 years old, and I am envious of people that had went to school in the 90s. It felt like they were much happier. It felt like they actually had a social circle and they didn't care about what was happening online because it didn't exist. They didn't have social media, guys. They didn't really even have cell phones. If they wanted to hang out with someone, they would make arrangements ahead of time and then meet them there. And if someone didn't show up, you didn't know why. You couldn't just call them. You just had to be like, all right, well, I guess he found something else. I don't know if he's dead or if he ended up doing something else, but Johnny isn't here, guys, so I don't know what else to tell you. It was a much simpler time. It was so simple and so natural and normal, and today's normal is not that way. I feel sorry for these kids that have to grow up in this time because they're competing with not only their peers that they see throughout their everyday lives, but they're competing with everything online. They're being told where to walk and when to walk and how to interact, how to dress, how to get girls, and how to become financially successful. And the levels of exposure that they're being primed to believe is obtainable is not going to work out. The average person isn't going to make 500K a month. I'm sorry, the average person isn't going to have 50 million YouTube subscribers. It's not going to happen. You have to get comfortable living your own life. But if you do have those aspirations, then I say fucking go for it. Just like I'm doing, go for it. Just know that it's going to be a long and it's sometimes even frustrating and difficult journey. But if you truly love it, then continue to do it, regardless of who watches. The world will catch up to you. And the truth of the matter is that you wouldn't want that direct spotlight hitting you right from the get anyways, because you would have nothing to say. It's like taking a kid off the street that's never dribbled a basketball and putting him in the NBA finals. He would fail. He would collapse under pressure. He would lose his mind. He might just go insane. So it's a slow snowball build, and iShowSpeed has set the perfect roadmap for you to follow. You have to be genuine and interact with your fans in a real way. You have to be the best entertainer that you know, that you've ever seen if you want to reach the very top. And he is the best entertainer. It's very difficult to go on camera and simply speak and not know what you're going to speak about, but make it entertaining. I don't want to hear dead air on a live stream. It's not going to work out if you leave pauses like minutes. Even some people won't talk. I'll click on a live stream because I've been investing my time into figuring out just what differentiates people that aren't successful from streamers that are successful when they get on Twitch or they get on Kick, whatever it is, whatever platform, doesn't matter. They're doing the same thing over and over and over again. All of these people that are successful have done the same exact thing. And I'm just surprised with the amount of people that expect to become something, and I will click on their stream and they're not even speaking. They're just eating popcorn or whatever it is. You have to be doing something. And you have to get a genuine audience. And you can only get that from being real. You have to be real. If you're not real, you don't stand a snowball's chance in hell of becoming anything great. Even the people that you might think are well known today won't be here tomorrow. I see on live stream and now on YouTube, there's a guy that, I don't know if he's sponsored by Dr. Pepper or what, but he should be if he's not. And that's a very genius way of getting a massive sponsorship. But he will just walk up to someone during a live stream, hand them a Dr. Pepper, and walk away. He's known as the Dr. Pepper guy. And that's all fine and dandy, but I don't know him. I don't know his name. He could be the CEO of Dr. Pepper's son for all I care, for all I know, or grandson maybe. And that's a great promotional tool, but there's no depth to that. It's a shallow puddle. He is a shallow puddle online. I don't know anything about him. And so he is going to fade away, just like the backpack kid. He did that little stupid backpack dance. Just like Catch Me Outside, how about that? You have to get to genuinely know your audience if you expect them to last. You have to put a side out there that is genuine and honest and sometimes embarrassing or emotional. They have to feel like they know you. And when they feel like they know you, they'll rally behind you and they'll tell their friends. And then you'll slowly grow. So if you have any ambition to become a YouTuber, first you have to ask yourself why. Why do you want this? Do you want it just to become famous? Is that all you think this is? Because if so, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. Even someone like iShowSpeed is giving something to his audience. You know what he's giving? He's giving true entertainment. He's giving them a safe community where they can feel like they're a part of something greater than themselves. He might be giving them a roadmap to success. He's exposing them to new things every single stream that maybe they haven't previously thought of or even considered. That's what he's doing. It's a transaction. And I know that sounds like a creepy little dirty word, a transaction, but you can have genuine transactions too. You have to offer people something. Some people on YouTube, it's offering you value on how to edit your videos, or value on to increase your finances, or how to save, or maybe they're giving you advice on relationships or personal hygiene. There's so many different things that you could do, but don't expect just to become big for the love of the game. You have to do what you love, and the people will eventually, if you're good enough, catch up to you. And you will prosper, but it takes time. Not everyone's going to be an iShowSpeed. And so, Speed, if you ever watch this, just know that you, my friend, are a diamond in the rough. Continue to do all of the fantastic things you do. Save your money. And I can't wait to see what he does in the future, because even if it's not streaming, he's going to take that platform and all of those people that he has slowly compiled into building his audience with, and he's going to be able to convert them into following his every lead, no matter what he does. He could start a clothing line tomorrow and people would flock. He could say he's getting into a different type of entertainment. He could say that he is opening a Six Flags and people would go. Whatever he does, people will follow. And it's because people feel like they know him. And so I want you guys to feel like you know me, the way his fans feel like they know him. So if you have any question for me whatsoever, leave it in the comments. But on one condition, if you ask me a question, I get to ask you a question back, and you have to answer it truthfully, honestly, and genuinely. So, thank you guys very much, and I hope that this video inspired you to do something great, even if it's not streaming, even if it's becoming a great father or mother, or if it's maybe increasing your productivity throughout the day, maybe it's losing weight. Whatever it is for you and your unique situation, you can do it, but it takes fucking work. I show up here every day and put out a video. These are not pre-recorded. If I film on a Sunday, I put it out on a Sunday. And so you have to show up for yourself every single day. Each and every single day, you have to show up for yourself, because if you don't care about you, no one else will. So keep striving towards whatever it is that you want to eventually obtain for yourself. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace out, guys. Take care.